These are some of the most selfish, some of the most self-centered people. And would they sabotage the chances of their own party being elected in order to protect the easy gravy train cash money going out to all the renewable projects where they've got their money? 100% they would.
Yeah, she's not going to win. At first, there's a couple of things that really bother me. She's a private school woman, right?
Yep.
And she's a young Liberal.
Strathcona.
Yeah. I am convinced, for those who are listening to the podcast, this is about Jess Wilson has stabbed Brad Batten in the back and is now the new Liberal Party leader in Victoria. So for the first time, Brad Batten was in front.
Mm-hmm.
He was
51% to 49% two-party preferred. If an election had been held on the day that survey was done, Brad Batten would be our premier, your premier.
And the Liberal Party took it upon themselves to roll him, even though he had the favour of the public for their own selfish means. Now, I'm going to go off for a second. I think two things. One, they've installed someone that seems compatible with the accepted narrative in Victoria. She's a woman. She's somewhat woke because she was supportive of The Voice.
Yep.
And someone like Brad, who was a police officer, had, toxic masculinity, and he was going hard on the crime.
Yep.
They wanted someone more reasonable. And I've seen key brokers like Jeff Kennett's come out praising her. And all I can think of is this just reeks of selfishness. The Liberal Party themselves are more concerned with their backroom optics than they are Victorians.
I want to go one layer deeper.
Okay.
I'm actually now convinced that this is about money.
Yeah?
So political parties, for those that don't know, and I cover this in my books, grift, buy my books, political parties are not run by their members, and they're not even run by the MPs that you see. They are the product. They're the public face. They're actually run by power brokers. Now, power brokers end up being very, very wealthy. And one of the reasons they end up being very, very wealthy is because they know which way the political winds are going to blow after the next election. If my party gets in, it's going to blow this way. If the other guys get in, it's going to blow that way. And they can shuffle around their investments and make their choices. Now, Victoria has for a long time been very, very woke and been going down the renewable energy pathway. I am convinced that there are significant, powerful power brokers in the back end of the Liberal Party who have their personal wealth invested in the kinds of things that the Labor Party do. The worst thing that could happen to them is for Brad Batten to come along and start to mess with that.
Just to clarify, what you're saying is these elite people, these elite wealthy people, the power brokers, their personal investments are more important
100%.
Than the entire needs of the state of Victoria.
So understand, the people that get involved in politics are some of the worst people you could possibly meet. But the ones you can see, the MPs, they're the good ones. They're the best of that bunch. So if you've got a low opinion of politicians, amplify that by 10, and that's the opinion you should hold of the backroom power brokers. These are the sleaziest, most underhanded, most selfish, backstabbing people. I've said to people that have wanted to go into politics, I've said, listen, if you think politics between the political parties is bad, wait till you see how bad the politics within the political party is. It is so much more savage. They are putting on a face in public to, they're being nice out there. What happens inside those backroom deals is absolutely bastardry. There's no other word for it. These are some of the most selfish, some of the most self-centered people. And would they sabotage the chances of their own party being elected in order to protect the easy gravy train cash money going out to all the renewable projects where they've got their money? 100% they would. 100% they would. And they would literally rather lose than to have a genuine conservative win. And that means, so at the moment what they've done is basically said, instead of offering you a choice between the Labor Party and the Liberal Party, we're going to offer you a choice between the Labor Party and the almost Labor Party. Right? And that's an acceptable offering. And if that means they lose, they would rather have that outcome than win with a Brad Batten.
So I see a couple of things happening here, and I talked about it before when we were talking about crime. If Labor gets in again, watch as Victorians obviously flee, that's a given, but watch as they start to take matters into their own hands. I think you will see that. I think Victoria will get to a point where it's a little bit like San Francisco, and Labor will be coming out in front and saying, oh, no, look at the things we're doing. They're going to be doing the Gavin Newsom. And everyone fleeing the state.
When's the next Victorian election?
November next year.
November next year, isn't it? Okay,
November 26th next year.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was late in the year. I just wasn't sure. I was like, hang on, surely
so,
that's not happening.
There's so many things wrong with this. Like, she's not going to win. At first, there's a couple of things that really bother me. she's a private school woman, right?
Yep.
And she's a young Liberal.
Strathcona.
Yeah. She's a silver spoon
President
baby.
of the Young Liberals.
Yeah.
Worked as a senior policy advisor for Josh Frydenberg, who is one of the problems, not one of the solutions in at the federal Liberal level.
So she is everything Labor voters hate about the Liberal Party. She is exactly what they see them as.
But she's also everything that's wrong with the Liberal Party.
Yes. Oh, no, I agree with you. But so she's the more moderate, right? Because she was pro the Voice. She's somewhat woke. And I dare say, on paper, she probably supports the treaty, probably thinks that men can be women. Who knows?
She said that the treaty is no good and she's going to oppose it. I want to hear a lot more from her about that. Because
I want to say it's torn up.
Well, my instinct is that she just thinks it hasn't been done right.
Yeah, see, that's my instinct as well. It's not like I'm going to tear it up. Brad Batten said he was going to tear it up.
Yeah.
And so, again, putting my little, taking my 30,000-foot view, this is going to push people further right. So that by going more centrist, you are proving all the conspiracy theorists right.
Yeah.
By saying that, oh no, we're just Labor light. Look at us, we're moderate.
But they're not going centrist. They're already past the centre.
Yeah,
they're chasing the left.
They're Labor light. So what you're going to see is this is going to, I mean, yay for Pauline Hanson's One Nation, but it's going to push people further and further to the right. This isn't fixing a problem.
And this is the thing. So the uptick in One Nation's support was actually the pretext that was used here, because Brad Batten or the Liberal Party, they were going backwards in the polls. Well, hang on. Number one, they were still ahead of Labor. Number two, their voters weren't going to Labor. Their voters were going to One Nation.
Yeah.
We see simultaneous uptick in One Nation. I've got a video. My video that went out today is exactly about this. So they've used that as a pretext, but that's all it was a pretext. Now, it so happens people are supporting One Nation largely because of things happening at a federal level. It's immigration, it's cost of living, it's national security and energy and net zero. That's why people are going across to One Nation. That's happening federally, but it's spilling over into the state level. At a federal level, One Nation have hit 18%. The Liberal Party, once you remove the Nationals out of the figures, they're only at about 20%. Like, it's literally line ball now between One Nation and the Liberal Party by themselves. At a state level in Victoria, the gap is much bigger. The One Nation, Victoria has not been a good state for One Nation historically.
Yeah.
They have had Ricky Lee Tyrrell was an MP elected in the north of Victoria. I don't believe they've had another MP elected at any level in Victoria ever. But their support is rising rapidly because of the movement that we're watching happen around Australia. So what they've done is they've said the real problem is that One Nation are rising on the right of them. Now, what they need to do is what Labor always did when the Greens started to get support. They would move closer to the Greens and eat and bring back some of that support, right? So that's, strategically speaking, if the Liberal Party cared about their survival, they would go, right, the threat is from over there.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure we've got the Labor Party handled.
Yeah.
They've been in power for so long, there's so many scandals, there's so many issues. We're pretty sure we've got that handled. The polls are in our favour. We just have to watch our right flank.
Yeah.
We're going to shift it a little bit closer to One Nation, steal back some of the people that are leaving us and stabilise the ship and we'll be all good. That's the correct political strategy. They've gone the other way. And what you said is correct. A lot more people are now going to move across to One Nation. Now, the political calculation there is, because of preferencing, we're going to pick up their preferences anyway, so we'll still win, right? In their minds, it is unthinkable that One Nation could replace them.
Yeah.
Right. And in Victoria, I can understand that arrogance because they look at it and there's still a very, very big gap there. They need to pay a lot more attention to what's happening federally. Because if One Nation replaces the Liberal Party federally and outpolls them at the next election, which you can laugh all you want, I know you're not laughing, but
it's on track.
They've picked up 3 percentage points in between two polls, right?
Yeah.
No one thought that Reform was going to get to where they are now until all of a sudden it happened. This could be One Nation's moment. And if that happens federally and the Victorian Liberal Party are being led by Jess Wilson, it will happen in Victoria as well.
I think so too. I like I've said, it comes down to is it bad enough yet? And I do think for a lot of Victorians who are looking at Jacinta coming out and gaslighting them, and that Tim Richardson dude who comes out, sycophanting for Jacinta, we've seen this under Daniel Andrews. We've done this before.
Yep.
We're never going to convince the raging lefties, but I think the more moderate lefties are starting to go, yeah, okay, they've lost it.
Yeah.
They've lost it. Now, I don't think they'll vote One Nation.
Yeah.
Would they vote Liberal? I don't know. But how bad does it get for them to vote Liberal?
Yeah.
But I think people will vote with their feet and their wallets. And we're already seeing a mass exodus. It's been happening since COVID. And, we're trying to get out. And people's like, oh, why haven't you left yet? Well, it's really hard to
It is actually difficult.
You got to sell down your business, your assets.
So normally on a podcast like this, when you've got two people, one of them is the brains of the operation and the other one's the eye candy. In this case, I have to be both, which is, oi, excuse me, this one's, Carly, this one's about me. I have to be
It's
both.
actually about me.
Seriously, I have to be both, which means I need lots of coffee, lots of caffeine. So you can help me to get lots of caffeine by scanning that little QR code there so that I can just carry this podcast on my...
And subscribe because I'm ridiculously good
Seriously,
looking.
Carly, can you not... Wow. She's such a center of attention, isn't she? Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Bye.